make sure that you pay them well, because sometimes it's really hard to pay someone a little bit extra than they ask for. But as soon as you give them like a $20 tip, it's going to make a huge difference in them making it to the next job that you need them to do. Hi, welcome to the Break Free Real Estate Podcast, your daily guide to financial freedom through real estate. I'm your host, Jocelyn Kaufman, and I'm here with my co-host, David Robinson. And today, David and I are going to talk about how to find a contractor. So, David, do you want to kick this off?
Sure. Yeah. If you're dealing with rentals, eventually you're going to have repairs or remodel or rehab done on these rentals. And so finding a good contractor to work with that is someone that you can rely on and that's consistent and does good work can actually be more challenging than you might think. And so the number one way, and this is sort of a theme across all investing, but the number one way to find a good contractor, in my opinion, is through a referral from other investors who are already having success. So the best way, in my opinion, to go out and find a good contractor is to go find an investor who's working in your local market, who's already having success and has a good relationship. Now, there is one little caveat to this. Investors, once they find a good contractor, can become a little bit cautious about referring that contractor out because it is so hard to find good, reliable contractors that do good work. Like sometimes they'll hold those close to chest. And so it may not be something that you can make a new relationship and ask that investor right away for who they're using. But if you're consistently adding value to others and trying to figure out ways to add value to other investors, then once that relationship's built, then you can ask for that referral for a contractor. But I think that's the number one way for you to find a good contractor and a good relationship with the contractor is by referral from another investor who's in your local market that's already having success.
Yeah, for sure. And when you do find contractors and you get referred to contractors, or if you do have to find one using the internet or different sources, then always check their reviews and ratings. A lot of times contractors will have, if they will have like a website or at least a Google page, or at the very least, they should have a Facebook page where people can go in and leave reviews. You could even go as far as trying to contact some of their old past clients and seeing how they did on that job. And then the other thing that you need to make sure that you do is verify their license and insurance. Always make sure that they're insured, and then always make sure that they have a contractor's license. And even if you've worked with them a few times, make sure that their license and insurance is staying current, because I've actually had a situation where I had a contractor who did great work for me, and I stopped verifying his license and insurance because he'd done a few jobs for me, and then all of a sudden he was in jail and stole $50,000 from different people. So I lost a lot of money in that deal. And so I can't stress enough how important it is to continue to verify their license and insurance and make sure that they are still advocating for you as their client.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Can you think of any other ways or any other ways to vet a contractor?
Well, I think, there's some portals out there or some databases or I can't think of the right word right now, marketplaces for contractors. So one that comes to mind is Thumbtack. Others that's probably even more common is like Angie's List or Craigslist, right? You can find contractors, but like Angie's List and Thumbtack are great resources because they already have reviews built into the system. So you can really, minimize the amount of time that you have to spend. Obviously, you should do an added layer of vetting once you find a contractor on these sites, but generally the contractors that are going to great lengths to get a lot of reviews on those sites, like they're putting a lot of effort into getting those reviews, which means they're trying to do good quality work because they can't ask for a review from a client unless they've done good quality work. So that's a great place to start, is those marketplace portals like Thumbtack and Angie's List.
Yeah, for sure. And I've never used Thumbtack for my personal properties, but I have used it for my house for small jobs like an appliance repair or winterizing my sprinklers, just little things that I didn't want to do myself. And I had a great experience with it. And I actually built a connection with both of those people, both of those workers who I found on Thumbtack, have their personal number, and use them now for my rentals. And so creating connections with contractors is really important, because then they'll want to come and fix things when they get broken for you. And another point too is make sure that you pay them well, because sometimes it's really hard to pay someone a little bit extra than they ask for. But as soon as you give them like a $20 tip, it's going to make a huge difference in them making it to the next job that you need them to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip, to give a tip. If you're willing to do that, like, that's going to stand out to people, right? I mean, especially contractors that might be doing a small job for you initially, and may not be their ideal type of work right out the gate. Maybe it's a smaller project. They would rather have a bigger, longer term project. But if you can show your appreciation for them taking your work, and if they've done a good job, then tipping them, that's going to help you stand out amongst everybody else that they're working with.
Yeah. And as a new investor, that's probably one of the best tips you could get, because I remember when I was first starting investing, I was so stingy. I tried to find the cheapest bid. I tried to find the person who would do it for the lowest cost. And as I've grown my portfolio, I've realized that it's not always the best option. And you want to find quality contractors, and then you want to pay them what they're worth plus a little bit extra, so that they put you first as a client.
Yeah, agreed.
Awesome. Well, that's it for today. For more daily investing tips and real estate secrets, don't forget to visit breakfreerealestate.com, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast. We will see you tomorrow.